All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar from the SOLIDWORKS team. The topic today is effective project and task management, leveraging SOLIDWORKS data. My name is Joelle Guinette, and I'm the territory manager for Eastern Canada, so Ontario to the Maritimes. I have with me Michel Cloutier, who I will introduce in just a few minutes when I hand it over to him. If it's your first time using GoToWebinar, just a quick review, there's a panel on the right-hand side. You can close that panel by using the orange arrow at the top, give you full visibility on your screen. You can do the audio from your computer, which is usually the default, but if it's not coming through properly for some reason, you can always switch to a phone call. If you select that option, the tool will give you in the panel phone number, access code, everything you need to access it. Just be aware that it may be a long distance call from wherever you're calling in from. So just be aware before you choose that option. There are some handouts under that. You can download those at any time. So I think there's 2 documents that are available there today. And the most important section for us and hopefully for you in this panel is the questions panel. So if you have any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to write them there. And as we go, Michelle will check and see if anybody had anything to ask, anything that wasn't clear, or any additional information that you're looking for. So please don't hesitate to put some questions in there. All right, so project task management, large topic. What's the challenge and why is this important? Why are we talking about this today? Well, obviously business has gotten more complex. You've got projects that are now required to be delivered faster, that have worldwide implications because we have a worldwide market today. Products have to have customized experience for the user, smart systems that are integrated, so you're being asked to do more. And of course, just at the bottom line from a business perspective, we have new models and the expectations in general are just higher for everyone. So things are moving fast and things are more complex. What does that do? When you're doing project management, find that tools that are available out there are varied depending on the discipline that they have to do with. So depending what you're doing, you may have different tools and different functionality. When you're talking about 3D design, in most cases, they're very disconnected from your product data. And this is why the brick wall that we've indicated here on the image, the traditional type tools that people use from Excel, these types of tools that are out there today, do not connect to your 3D data. Require manual updates either from the project manager themselves. You have to do meetings to get things together. And therefore your data is usually out of date because it's not updated automatically as things happen and as the tasks progress in your projects. So 30%, unfortunately, of these data are non-value added activities that are done in these tools, and they just don't help you move forward. What's the result of all this? The result of all this is that in your projects, 16% of them may be on time and on budget, and that's it. They end up being pushed out, which is not a good scenario for your company overall. Another result is that 52% of them meet challenges along the way that incur problems and probably delays of being on time or on budget. And unfortunately, 31% of these projects end up failing. And these are results from the Standish group. And all of this doesn't amount to a good experience, either for you, maybe for your end customer, anything at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, your project managers in your company, if that's you or others, are looking for help. That's the bottom line. They're looking for help. There's different approaches to doing data management. Some of them are more complex. Some of them are more centric to your group. We're going to show you some different options today because we have options. We used to have one, now we have 2. So we're going to make sure that you're aware of what those look like. And to help me do that today is Michel Cloutier. He has been with SOLIDWORKS for 15 years and showing SOLIDWORKS solutions, now 3D experience solutions, and he's going to show you one from each of those different domains from Dassault Systems SOLIDWORKS. Michel is a solutions consultant, and we've been traveling for the last 6 years that I've been with SOLIDWORKS. Obviously, he's been meeting customers for longer. Beyond design, data management is a huge face a huge problem that people want to be able to manage, to organize. And then beyond that is the project. All of these files that are being touched, how can we manage those projects and those files? So Michelle's going to help you understand what options we have today, and I will come back at the end for the close. Over to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Joelle, and welcome everyone to our session today. And today, like Joelle mentioned, we're going to talk about two different tools. So first thing we're going to cover is a tool called Project Planner. So we're going to do a little bit of overview, and I'm actually going to show this tool live this morning. So we're going to take a look at the Project Planner, but also how that integrates with SOLIDWORKS. Just like Joelle mentioned, one of the problems with tools like Microsoft Projects or things like that is that they don't integrate with the CAD data at all, with the SOLIDWORKS data, but we can. So this is something that I'm going to show with Project Planner. And then because SOLIDWORKS Manage is such a different tool, so there are really two different tools, right? So again, I'm going to do a little bit of an overview of SOLIDWORKS Manage this time. And also because that tool is also fairly new in our portfolio, introduced in 2018, 2019. There were a lot of important enhancements just in the last release in 2021. So I'm going to cover some of those releases or important enhancements over the last couple of releases. So let's start with Project Planner. And like I said, let's first of all take a quick look at what it is. So first of all, Project Planner is a tool built on the 3D Experience platform. What does that mean? Well, Project Planner is a cloud-based project management tool. The only thing you need to get access to it is internet and a browser, and that's it. So you can actually manage your projects on any device. That's the beauty of the thing, and it's really easy to get access from anywhere you are. Some of the capabilities, you can create tasks, define tasks, and assign tasks to users, and we're going to see that. It has a built-in scheduling optimization engine. It's already built in. So as you assign tasks and put some dates to it and things like that, you'll actually see dynamically your schedule update. I don't need to refresh. I don't need an update button. Everything's done pretty much live as you do it. So that's pretty sweet. And as you see in the image, but we'll see actually in real time, it offers a Gantt style view. So if you're familiar with project management tool, this is also going to be very familiar to you. So I think we should just jump into it and show you a couple things. So I'm actually going to turn off my webcam right now. And like I said, this is a cloud-based tool. So I'm simply going to launch Google Chrome, and I'm going to log in to the 3D Experience platform. So obviously this is behind a secured, it's a secure environment, so I need a login and password to get in. So as I'm logging in, I'm going to land on my dashboard where I have my project planner open. So as it's loading, it's showing me my project, and I'm going to minimize that because I also have on this dashboard a community where I'm discussing everything related to this project. Actually, if I scroll down my my forum posts here, this is actually the project I'm working with. It's a leg for amputees to do extreme sports, skiing, motocross, snowmobiling, and whatnot. And in my discussion forum, there's a couple of things. I've kind of highlighted that we should, create a cover and add the link to the back of the foot here. So that's going to, we're going to define this as a task. I've got one of my colleagues, Tandy. So Tandy's in the US, so he's offline, as we can see in here. But he highlighted last week that we need to do some changes to the pin assembly down the bottom because there's too much deflection. But that's really just a forum community post. If we really take a look at the planning tool, this is what it looks like. So as you see, I've already got a couple. First of all, that's my top level project. In that, I've actually broken it down by portion. So I got the moto knee, which is the between the knee and ankle leg, and the actual foot itself. So I've broken this down into two different sub projects, and I've already got some tasks lined up. But we need to, and here you see that there's one task that was completed actually by Todd. So he did the simulation, but I need to organize some of these tasks a little bit. And before we do that, let's actually create a new task. And this new task is going to be to create or update the marketing catalog. So from here, I can simply create a new task, and I'm going to say update Motoni catalog. And I could add a bit more description, who's it's assigned to, the duration. I'm simply going to hit create. It comes into my my calendar view, and I'm actually going to assign it to myself. So right from the pull down, I could have done it when I created it, but I have the option here to assign to self. And very quickly, that's now assigned to me. And as I do that, you might have noticed it actually moved out. And well, the first reason, the first question is, why did that happen? Well, when we look closely at all the different tasks, I've just created this task, but I also already had a task assigned to me prior. And because I cannot do both of them at the same time, the tool went ahead and actually pushed it forward automatically. So it's not only time, it's also resource planning, resource scheduling. But to add to that, we need to do some actions, because some of these cannot be done in parallel. They have to be done one after the other. So here's a good example where the design, the review and approval should be done after everything we've modified. So to do that, I can simply drag and drop to create links between these tasks. And as I do that, you see the tasks moving along. You see also the column 28, 29, that's the weekend. So by default, that's kind of grayed out, but I can also just rearrange all of these tasks and assign them over here. So as this is moving along, depending on my resources, I also have the top level tasks, which are the assembly and manufacturing. So obviously the final assembly should go after manufacturing. So that's moved out after the next weekend, because this task is a 5-day task. But this cannot start before the review and approval. So I can actually link sub-project tasks to top level tasks. And I can also link, so as you see, everything is kind of being updated. I can also link multiple tasks to a single one as well, right? So as everything is being set up, everything is scheduled properly. And somewhere over the end here, I want to have a milestone. A milestone is a very important date. And my milestone is going to be the delivery, right? So that's usually where everything ends in the project, by delivering, but we could have multiple milestones, sorry. And because this milestone is going to be at the end, I'm simply going to pin it over here. So very quickly now, if I just hover over the actual milestone, I can say, well, this project is going to be ready for delivery on December 10th, on Thursday, in 2 weeks from now. So very quickly, I'm able to do that. Now, one of the other things that's kind of neat here is that within the task, so I'm going to go into one of the tasks already created and double click on it. So obviously we got a title, we got some description, right, that was filled in. We got priority, so we can define tasks by priority, what's low priority, all the way up to critical or urgent. But also we can attach documents, and those are not simply, they could be Microsoft Word or Excel or PDF, but in this case, I've actually attached the SOLIDWORKS assembly to this task. And right within the platform, I can actually go in and view the actual SOLIDWORKS assembly in the browser. So as a project manager, I can actually see the actual 3D data in the browser without SOLIDWORKS, without anything other than a browser. But I'm going to actually need to work on this assembly inside of SOLIDWORKS. So we're going to see that next. So as you can see, because Project Planner is a cloud-based tool, the ability to have access from anywhere, from any device is really nice. Nothing to install. All the updates are done automatically. So very easy access to this tool and very easy to use. Now, again, back to what Joel mentioned earlier, one of the issues with standard, traditional tools is that they lack the integration with the CAD data. So let's actually see how we do integrate with SOLIDWORKS directly at the SOLIDWORKS level and how we can manage these tasks and do some changes on the actual CAD models inside of SOLIDWORKS. So now I'm going to switch not to Chrome, but add to actually SOLIDWORKS. So as you can see, running SOLIDWORKS 2021. And inside of SOLIDWORKS, I've got a tab that, again, I need to connect, right? Because it's a secured environment, obviously. So as I'm connecting to the 3D experience from within SOLIDWORKS, I'll have access to my tasks directly inside of SOLIDWORKS. So here's a listing of all the tasks for all the projects. Now I really just want to, look what I'm assigned to. So I can filter these tasks by maturity, due date, but right now I just want to see what's assigned to me. So that gives me a nice filter. Now you can see that we have two tasks. One is the catalog, the one task I created, but that's a medium priority. I need to tackle this first. So let's start working on it. So to do that, I can simply move it over to the in work column. So on the back end, that's actually going to update my project calendar, because by moving it to the in work, it already moved it to 10% complete. I could have bumped this up as I go along, but by default, just moving in work bumps it to 10%. But the beauty of it all is that the attachments are in my task. So if I need to do some changes, well, I need to do some changes, just from one click away, I open it directly inside of SOLIDWORKS. I don't need to know where this document is. I don't need to know where it's saved, or where it is on the cloud. I can simply open it directly from my task window. And what's going to happen in the first thing is that it's going to, if I haven't been working on this assembly, it's going to pull all the data from the cloud locally to my computer in a local cache. And once this is done, it's going to open it inside of SOLIDWORKS. Let's see if that actually goes along. And as you can see, it's downloading all the data to my local disk space. And then it's going to open it inside of SOLIDWORKS. There we go. Now it's been copied locally. I can also, if I want to, go ahead and open it directly from, now I know since it's been copied locally, I know it's here, so I can actually open it from here as well if I wanted to. So if I look at all my assemblies, I'll find it here. So now I can say, let's go ahead and open this. And now I'm going to do my changes inside of SOLIDWORKS. So I'm not going to actually do, all of the modeling as I should, but I can, I have things already kind of, preset, set together, set here. So I'm going to simply unsuppress some of those and show these. And now that I've finished my design, I can again go back into my panel. Let's close this. and save it and push this data back up to the platform. Now, once my task is complete, I could now simply take this and move it. So let's just assume we saved it and updated the copy on the server. So now I could simply move it to my completed stage. And again, this is going to let everyone know that this task has been completed. And if I actually switch back to my calendar view, you actually, as I was switching over, you actually saw this task move and be, closed down if you want, because now it's completed. And you've seen also this task that is also assigned to me moved in, because now I can actually go ahead and start working on this one. Now, you saw how we can attach SOLIDWORKS documents, but that isn't just that's not just it. You can attach any type of file. So for example, in my task where I've assigned myself to create a catalog, I can have attachments and deliverables. And as a matter of fact, I do have a updated copy of this catalog, which is a PDF. It's saved locally on my drive. And now I want to add this as a deliverable to my task. I can simply drop it over here. Now it's set as deliverable. I'm going to save it. So that's going to upload it to the platform. And once I do that and I close it, I can now simply say, well, this is complete. So from here, I could again go in, and if I double click on it, I could simply say, well, yeah, this is completed, hit save, and again, you'll see the scheduling kind of adjust as I complete all these tasks. Now, one thing when we look at scheduling, we might also need to move some things and maybe sometimes compress some of these tasks. So a good example here, we look at the delivery schedule, and now it's scheduled to be December 10th. So what if the customer calls me and say, hey, could we do it 1 or 2 days earlier? Well, to know if we could do it, one thing we could do is simply go in my my milestone and say, well, right now it's estimated to be due on the 10th. Let's see if we could do it maybe 1 day earlier on the 9th and put that as a fixed date. And as I do that, you'll see something happening. You'll see that some of these tasks, the one that actually can be compressed, are actually going to squeeze down and highlight in a different color, meaning that these tasks are now compressed. And to have a clear view of all of the summary of this project, I could go into my project list here and see all the different milestones, the tasks, what's to do in work completed, what's at risk or not at risk or late. I can see the task burn down over the timeline, resource usage, who's assigned to what. So really a good understanding of everything. And also I can see all the contents that's assigned to each of those tasks. So I see the moto knee, I see the foot, I see the PDF catalog right over here. So all of this content captured and all of my collaborative tasks, I can actually see all the tasks if I look at all of them in this type of board, and I can also filter them by maturity or due date or whatever is really important for me, right? So very quickly, the idea with with Project Planner is not only to be able to do the planning on any device, but also to connect to the SOLIDWORKS data directly inside of SOLIDWORKS. So I have access to my tasks inside of SOLIDWORKS. So if I'm a CAD designer, I don't need to go into another application just to see what I need to do. All my tasks are available right inside of SOLIDWORKS, which is really nice. Now, we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about SOLIDWORKS Manage. Now, Manage is a whole different beast from Project Planner, a very different tool. So I think it's worth it that we do a bit of overview for SOLIDWORKS Manage to see how it does compare with Project Planner. So first things first, SOLIDWORKS Manage is actually a complement, an addition, if you want, of PDM Professional. So it's actually built on the PDM Professional technology. So if you are a PDM Professional user and you want to leverage some project management tools you don't have right now, it's an easy path forward to manage. It's using the same architecture, the same SQL license as PDM Professional. It doesn't require any type of migration because it's leveraging the same data already built inside of PDM Professional. But it doesn't end there, right? So today, the topic of the session today is to talk about project management, which SOLIDWORKS Manage does. But I just want to make everyone aware that SOLIDWORKS Manage does a whole lot more than just project management, right? So it's really a all encompassing tool. It does process managements like managing ECRs and ECOs, item management, and also advanced dashboarding and reporting. So we're going to focus mainly on the project management aspect of it, but just so you know, Manage does a lot more than just that, right? And when we look at project management, the project management, content inside of SOLIDWORKS Manage, we're going to be able to create, project stages, timelines, milestones, very similar to Project Planner. We just see in a similar fashion, I should say. But it adds more capability. It has more capabilities, especially with resource planning and capacity. You can also, like we can do in Project Planner, attach documents to tasks and have deliverables saved into those tasks as well. But it goes a step further with timesheets, for example, something Project Planner cannot do right now, we can do in SOLIDWORKS Manage. It also has calendars built in where you can put holidays and vacation and sick days and whatnot. You can also do really in-depth progress reporting inside of SOLIDWORKS Manage. So let's take a look at some of the things SOLIDWORKS Manage can do with regards to project management. So when I log into SOLIDWORKS Manage, you'll see, well, the UI is obviously different, but you see a listing of all my different projects. When I click on either one of them, I got a preview down the bottom of the timeline of this project or the planning stages of that particular project. Now, if I want to get into the details of that specific project, well, I can open this project, and now I'll be leveraging all the planning tools built inside of SOLIDWORKS Manage. Right now, we see that the percentage completed. We can drag these tasks, to make it longer, shorter. That updates the percentage, obviously. And we have the resources of all the resources used in that project, but also all the different tasks currently inside that project. Now let's go ahead and create a new task and attach some documentation to this task, see how we do that in SOLIDWORKS Manage. So to create a new task, it's very simple, right mouse button click, new task. So this is going to be a simulation task because we need to run some simulation on one of the castings. I'm going to set this task to be, maybe 16 hours, 2 days long. And then I need to attach documentation. So here's a Word document that was saved into my PDM Professional Vault. But that doesn't end there. I need to do the simulation on SOLIDWORKS data, which I can find using a powerful search and attach to the task. And finally, assign one of my designers to this task. So because, like I said, because it's built on top of PDM Professional, it's very easy to add attachments to all of these tasks because you're just leveraging whatever is already inside of PDM Professional of your vault. Now, you can do a bit more than that too, a lot more actually than that. One of the things you can do is create a bill of material at the project level. So here's an example where I need to ship that antenna. Well, I'm going to ship the antenna with so the bill of material is going to be my SOLIDWORKS assembly, but I need to ship a connector. And by the way, it's not going to ship empty, or I need to put it into a box, put some packing, some bags, so I can actually create a bill of material specific for this project that contains mechanical data in the form of my SOLIDWORKS assembly. It contains a plug, which is a electrical part, and then it contains also the packaging material that I need to ship this. So we can actually capture bill of materials at the project level if we need to. Additionally to that, we have a very in-depth timesheet tracking device or system. So here a user can go in and say, oh, I've been working on this project, and in the timesheet said, oh, well, on Thursday, yesterday, I put in 8 hours on this project, and not just on this project, I spent 8 hours on this task of this project. So now we can get really in-depth information with regards to where time is spent and how much time is spent on each of those projects and tasks. So really the beauty of SOLIDWORKS Manage is that it's built on existing PDM professional architecture. So a company that has PDM professional, it's really easy to add that functionality because we're using the same architecture. We're using on the back end the same SQL license or SQL server that we need for PDM professional. So all of this is already taken care of by the PDM professional bit of it. Now, because SOLIDWORKS Manage is, like I mentioned, fairly new in our portfolio, there has been important enhancements just in the last release in 2021. And we're gonna take a look at some of those enhancements that we've put in SOLIDWORKS Manage in 2021, and even some dating a little in 2020 as well. So let's start with project management, and project managers oftentimes have to manage multiple projects at once. Now, it's really hard to see the timeline of multiple projects side by side. So what we can do in 2021 is actually create a planning list of multiple projects. So when we add or create a custom list of multiple projects, now it becomes very easy to put both of the projects side by side and look at the timeline and also the load chart. Now, looking at this, I can't do both of these projects at the same time. So very easily, I can say, hey, I'm going to move the second project 15 days forward because I'm going to have more resource available to me to do that. Another thing we can do now in Manage is that, let's say I have a task, and in this task on the bottom, you see that I have attachments. So I have documents that I've attached to this task. So as the task is being worked on and the schedule is advancing, and there's a tool inside of Manage 2021 to update those tasks automatically. So as you see the task here, line 9 is being updated, and now it's showing as completed. When it does show as completed, all my documents that were originally set to the task as attachments are automatically transferred into my project's deliverable. So documents were in the tasks before, and when the task is complete, it moves into the project's deliverables. So everything is gathered at the same place, and when I look at the project now, I can see all my deliverables at the same place. Now, additionally, in 2021, we added the availability to see task charts right from here. So very quickly, we look at a project, we can see the task burn down through the dates. We can also see the status of all of these tasks, what's completed and in progress. We can look at priorities as well. We can filter them by priorities. So really a clean view of all my task burn down for my project. But we can also see a task board similar to what we saw a bit earlier in Project Planner, that we can now filter or group by priority or status, for example. So right now I see a couple of tasks that are not started. If I do want to start them, it's a simple drag and drop, very similar to, again, Project Planner. So we can start this task by a simple drag and drop. And anytime you want to see any of the information, a double click on either of those tasks in the task board opens the tasks itself and all the properties of those tasks. Now, those are some of the capabilities we added in 2021, but there's a couple more things I think it's worth mentioning. Um, what SOLIDWORKS Manage can do is scheduling and also load charts. So as you see down the bottom, I see all my users, and I see how loaded they are with regards to other tasks assigned to them. We can also view the information in different manners. So where it's the same information, but here we're looking at what we call the PERT chart. But we can also look at all the tasks with regards to as a network diagram. So just the same information, but viewable differently, a different view of that information. Also, we can now configure task templates. So when you create a task and you create a task that's very oftentimes the same type of task or assigned to the same user, so maybe you have one guy that does simulation and that's all he does, so all the simulation tasks are assigned to him. You can create a template that automatically has his name filled in as the user and things like that. So just make it, it just makes it faster to create those tasks with templates. We also have built-in holiday register where you can track, business holidays and things like that, vacation time, and that kind of rolls up into capacity planning, right? So you can really kind of see the capacity of your team based on the holidays and based on their other tasks, and see who's available to help you out on some of these projects by leveraging this capability. So when we look at SOLIDWORKS Manage, really SOLIDWORKS Manage is a fully featured project management tool. It goes more in depth when we look at project management with regards to Project Planner. It just has more tools built into it. Now, again, what we covered today, I wanted to show two different solutions, very different solutions by their nature. We have on the first hand, we have Project Planner, which is cloud-based, very easy, very simple to use, very easy to access, but also connects to your SOLIDWORKS CAD data inside of SOLIDWORKS. And on the other hand, we have SOLIDWORKS Manage, which is differently from Project Planner, is not on cloud, but rather built on the robust PDM professional architecture that we know and love, that we've been supporting for 20 odd years now. So very well-known technology, but it has more in-depth tools with regards to project management. So, and I put in a chart just a little comparison, and I can't really put all the little bits and pieces of everything, but if we look really closely, on the left-hand side, Project Planner, which is a cloud-based tool. We mentioned that. On the right-hand side, SOLIDWORKS Manage is on-premise, so it's an upgrade to PDM Professional. Both can do time and resource planning or project management. In Project Planner, we have a simple, project summary view. In SOLIDWORKS Manage, we have that, but we can go much deeper with dashboards and reports. Both offer import projects capabilities as well, however. So if you already are leveraging, for example, Microsoft Project, you can actually take something and bring it into both of these tools, so you don't have to do it manually bit by bit. Both do task boards, but again, when we look at SOLIDWORKS Manage, it's a more encompassing tool. it's a more fully featured tool where you can do timesheet, load charts, capacity planning. We don't really have that in Project Planner. Process and item management. Again, that's not Project Planner that kind of does that. We have advanced BOM management. Now, we could do that in some of the 3D Experience platform applications, but not really in Project Planner. Project Planner is really focused about, project planning. So as I wrap things up, I think I'm going to let Joël come in and maybe give a couple last few words. Let me look at questions real quick.
Do we have any questions this morning? So I did want to mention that, as Michelle was mentioning, Project Planner does project planning. There are other roles on the 3D Experience platform that do the other functionalities. So keep that in mind if you're looking for bill of material management and you're working in the platform for maybe your data management already, then those functionalities are available, and many other roles, obviously, as we keep growing that portfolio of cloud-based solutions for data management, and in this case, project management. So any questions, Michelle?
Well, there is one, and I'm not sure if it relates to Project Planner or SOLIDWORKS Manage, but it doesn't really matter because both can do it. But if a task takes, let's say, half the time, what happens to the next tasks? Well, it's going to roll back to, if the task is finished and you have two tasks set one after the other, it's going to roll back backwards if you want. So you're going to actually win some time by doing it.
Yeah. If somebody else owns that next task, I guess it will show up in their to-do list a little earlier than it would otherwise.
It will still be shown in their to-do list, but you basically got kind of more time to do the same thing, right?
Yep.
And yeah, the other questions are about the recording and the presentation. So yeah, it's recorded. It's going to be, I'm going to upload it later this afternoon. And the PowerPoint, I'm going to also stick the PowerPoint in the link there. So
perfect. So if you're looking for more information on either the project planning that you saw today, the other roles that go with it, because as Michelle mentioned, Manage is more than just project management, project planning, right? It has a whole lot more to it. If you want to see more about that, if you want to see more about the management tools that are available in the platform, whichever option, reach out to either your reseller, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help. The recording, you can take the link here. Our go-to stage has all of our past recordings. And as Michelle said, he'll upload this one either later today or definitely on Monday. It will be available so that you can share with others if you want, or review it yourself if you want to see something that you've kind of missed. How did he do that, or what was he doing? You can do that at your leisure with a fast forward button, which is obviously very useful. So please don't hesitate. Reach out. We'd love to help explore more of this with you and your company, and see how this would fit or not fit with your company, or maybe a future fit. You never know. So it's always good to know what's available. But again, data management for design projects, the essential element for the future is that it's connected with your data so that you have visibility on what's going on live and you know what's happening, so that you don't run into all of these issues that I mentioned at the beginning of being over time, under budget, or over budget, sorry, not under budget, and all these other issues that you can, we want your projects to be successful. We want everything to run on time. And we want some of these tools to be able to help you in doing that. So thank you, Michelle, for all this information. Thank you, all of you, for joining us this morning. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you on our next webinar. Have a great day, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.